What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Welcome back to Riley's World. We're here, back again. We're here, back again, doing the damn thing. Football transfer. That is it. That is it. That is our order of business for today. Lots of things going on in the transfer market. Arsenal has finally started to show some movements, right? Yes, Arsenal has finally started to show some movements on the transfer front, and that's a blessing. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? Thanks to everyone for joining the stream. Big up on the damn self, as always. I don't know the damn thing though. Yeah, man, I don't know the damn thing. Big up on yourself, man. Welcome to Riley's World. Yeah, big up on yourself. Welcome to Riley's World. So much going on in the football world. So much going on in the football world. You know what I mean? Garnacho. Garnacho must be one of the luckiest players. I don't know. That's just how life is, you know. Some people just have luck. Garnacho luck seems to be legit. You get messy, people? Yeah, man. Garnacho to Aston Villa. Here we go. Garnacho gone at Aston Villa. You know what I mean? Gonna be a first team player. Everybody are chasing him out of the country. Everybody are chasing him out of Chelsea. I think he was perfect at Chelsea though. To be honest with you. You know what I mean? I think he was a perfect player for Chelsea. But here he is. You know what I mean? Unai Emery wanted the player. Unai Emery loved the player. You know what I mean? Unai Emery think he can bring back Garnacho to his best, whenever that was. Whenever that was. You know what I mean? But Unai Emery seemed like him feel like him can work some miracle with Garnacho. So let's see what the situation. The main topic of the day to the people, the main topic of the day is Arsenal finally confirm a signing. Finally, Arsenal confirm a signing. I mean, it's a signing that we know that's been incoming. It's a signing that has been there for a while. You know what I mean? As far as we're concerned, I mean, like, the signing probably happened a long time ago. Just for it to be confirmed, which it has not been confirmed. You get me? Until today. You know? Christopher Tzolis. And that's the person that we want to talk about today. Arsenal signing Christopher Tzolis. A lot of people don't rate this signing. Why? I don't know. The kid is a good baller. You know what I mean? Decent profile. You understand what I'm saying? You look at the kid number and stuff like that. It mad. You get me? Then compare even his number with Morgan Rogers. Yeah, I know? Morgan Rogers, that, you know what I mean, backbiter. Yeah. His number was even compared with Morgan Rogers. And the kid number is outstanding, man. You know what I mean? And we tend to write off these kind of players because we didn't buy them for a ton load of money. You know what I mean? This player only cost us like £35 million. And because he only cost us £35 million, you know what I mean? Our fan base sometimes seems to not acknowledge, you know, because the man are one of them big ballers. And then forget, say, all of these ballers that become big baller were once this £35 million baller or less before they actually prove themselves to be this kind of baller. You know what I mean? Put themselves in this position for people to say, yo, guess what? This baller is worth my time and bring it to a big club and stuff like that. You get me, I say? Yeah, people tend to forget, say, them baller here was also, them big baller was also a nobody before them actually become somebody. So that is the situation. So we are here today to dissect this Tzolis, Christopher Tzolis signing. You know what I mean? And you guys can communicate with me. Make we understand what I want, how y'all feel about it. You know what I mean? Let me know how y'all feel about this signing because I think the signing will work, you know. I think the signing will work. I really, really think the signing will work. You understand? Yeah, I think the signing will work. I see a lot of some players, some past players in this boy. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I see a lot of some past players in this boy. I mean, like, if you take off his head and put on Sanchez head on the shoulder, I almost think his frame is like almost a Alex Sanchez. You know what I mean? So you understand? So there's a lot of things. I mean, like, him have big shoes to fill, you know. We get it, we understand it. And we're gonna talk about them shoes that we have to fill. Because he have some huge shoes to fill. Christopher Salis, him have to put him foot in our big shoes, leave. You know what I mean? By Mr. Clutch himself. You know? Trossard. You get me? Trossard was a fantastic player. But remember when we buy Trossard, Trossard was already in the league and a lot of us still never really know much about him. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us still never know much about him. And we buy Trossard as even a cheaper alternative than Tzolis right now at an older age. So Trossard was a cheaper player at an older age and still turned out to be a fantastic player for Arsenal. You understand what I'm saying? Remember, so we were flirting with Mikhailo Madrid all season. Only for Chelsea to come in and swoop and do the same damn thing that they did now. Overpaid for him and take him. You get me? Yeah, they did the same thing. You know what I mean? Are we going to see a repeat of that same situation? Are we going to see this? Is that same situation just played over in our eyes again? Probably not to that extent. You know what I mean? Because Rodgers is a fantastic player. You know what I mean? So probably not to that extent. But what are we looking forward to seeing from this player? You know what I mean? And what are we hate watching over there with Rodgers? Because that's what we're doing. We're hate watching to try to see it. Okay, guess what? I hope he's a flop because he diss us. You know what I mean? And all of that. So we everybody know how football is. You know what I mean? But Christopher Tzolis, you know what I mean? Christopher Tzolis. He has racked up some fantastic numbers in the Belgium League. And before you write off the Belgium League, remember Trossard was also in the Belgium League. You know what I mean? Yeah, Trossard was also in the Belgium League. So it's a situation where we have to give the Belgium League, we have to give players a chance. You know what I mean? Players have to get a chance. Trossard was over there. We took Victor Gyökeres, you know what I mean, from Portugal. You know what I mean? And everybody was saying, okay, we need bigger signing than Victor Gyökeres and all of that. You know what I mean? AFC, big up yourself, AFC, big up yourself. You know what I mean? Everybody was saying we need bigger signing than Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres has come in and has scored 21 goals for us this season. I mean, he never started out that hot, but he adapted and he learned along the way and get better. You get me? He got better along the way. So that's one example that we could use. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these players, Kavashkela, you know what I mean? I don't remember where they said to buy him from. But before he went to PSG, who knew him? You get what I'm saying? Who knew him? But right now, if Arsenal had bought Kavashkela for $150 million, £50 million, everybody will be jumping for joy and say, yo, it's a deal, it's a bargain because everybody dreams signing at Arsenal. You understand? But 4 years ago, when he was an unknown player like that, nobody was saying anything about the situation. You get me? Why can't we discover these gems? Why can't Arsenal be the one that discover these gems before they reach to these players? Middlesbrough and Bournemouth and all of these players. You know what I mean? Why can't we discover these gems before they reach the Bournemouth teams and all of that? Because Bournemouth to buy this same player. This same player, Christopher Tzolis. Bournemouth to have bought him, developed him one season, and next season, Arsenal will be in for him to buy him for $100 million. You understand what I'm saying? When Bournemouth would have bought him this season, just like what we did, and he would have just gone underneath the radar. And next season would have been here saying, yo, that's a fantastic player. We need him at Arsenal. What's the price tag? 100 mil. And remember, Beaumont would have just paid 35 million for him, just like we did. So why can't we be grateful and just give players a chance like these other teams do and develop them? Why can't we be the ones that are developing these gems? You know what I mean? Having them for a few seasons, selling them for millions and smiling to the bank like them other players. Huh? Let me know. AFC said 70 million in getting you, Bruno. G. From Newcastle, 80 to 85 million will do it. Arsenal gonna pay what it takes for Bruno, man. Trust me. I think Arsenal probably have it in their head to pay that $85 million for Bruno, to be honest. I think they probably have it to pay that 85. So I mean, like the market is crazy, and Arsenal do understand that. So this is another one of their top target. You know what I mean? Bruno G has emerged as one of their top target as well, and I don't think they're going to make him slip through their hands like they have done with Morgan Rogers just for a meager £10 million. You know what I'm saying? We need the likes of Bruno to start the season, to be honest with you. We need Bruno to start the season. You get me? So it's a situation where Arsenal have to put up. You know what I mean? I would even say put up or shut up. They have to just definitely put up. You know what I'm saying? Because the player is needed. That player is needed. So let's see. Let's see what's the outcome of this. This is a very interesting one, and this is the one that we're going to keep close all the way to the end. We're going to be watching this scenario with Bruno G. You know what I mean? And what other players Arsenal are after? You get what I'm saying? Because we still need a left winger, and we have no real concrete Maverick signing left winger as personal. So remember, the reports are that Christopher Tzolis signing will not affect Arsenal signing a left winger. You know? You get me? That's what the reports have been saying for me ever since. Christopher Tzolis is just a bargain, and Arsenal is capitalizing. It's not going to affect Arsenal signing a left winger. But ever since the Morgan Rogers deal has gone away, I've not heard Arsenal really step up any interest anywhere else in any left winger. You understand? So what is the situation with Arsenal and this left wing situation? We need to figure out, okay, are we going to sign a left winger or not? You know what I mean? Is it going to be Tzolis and Martinelli? You know what I mean? Are we going to sell Martinelli? Is he going to be here? Is he staying? Is he going? What is the situation? You know, we need some answers, man. We need some answers. Yeah, as I'm saying, we do need some answers. So let me know in the chat box what you guys think. Yeah. I can't say that I got to do stuff. Popping in to say hi. Big up, Riley. See you later. Have a good stream. Big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. Respect. So yeah. Yeah, we have no serious. Well, not even say serious. We have none at all. No, none at all. We have no candidates right now that is at the front line of the left wing situation for Arsenal. Everything is just fan speculation. You get me? The club have said nothing to us that, okay, don't worry, don't panic. You know what I mean? We got this. You know what I mean? This is our second target. You know what I mean? We have first, second, third, fourth, fifth target. You know what I'm saying? We got it. Don't worry. We have no idea what is the situation. Our left wing profile, our left wing was supposed to be closed today. You know what I mean? Because we were supposedly to be signing Morgan Rogers and Christopher Tzolis. So the left wing situation had been done, finito, seal. Well, here we are, missing out on our main target. You know what I mean? Because of an extra £17 million. I'm not saying that Arsenal should have paid the £17 million because Morgan Rogers is not worth all of that. You get me? So I'm not saying that they should have paid the £17 million. I'm just saying that we should have already been on another target. We should have already been making moves, you know what I mean, in negotiation with another profile to fill the gap that's over there. We should have already been doing that. You know what I mean? We here, we have nothing to go by as Arsenal fan. What is going on with our club? Everybody else is making proper signing, moving away from their old team and shaping up their new team for the 2026-27 season. But we are still nowhere near changing anything about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand. PSG won the league in France and they won the Champions League, also beating us. And they've been adding to their squad. That fantastic squad they have been adding to that squad. So if this squad was not good enough to beat a PSG, because we were lost in the final. Yeah, we stood our ground because of our defense, but we were lost in that final. You know what I mean? We're almost like we were outplayed. Bad. You know what I'm saying? And we thought that would have been the situation for Arsenal to improve, you know what I mean, on the squad. Because, okay, this squad cannot win the Champions League. I don't even know if this squad can win back the Premier League. We need improvements. You know what I mean? We have to be real. We need improvements. When are we going to show real guts and real ambition in what we need to do as a club? You know what I mean? And stop penny count. Stop counting these pennies. You know what I mean? That you're gonna make back in shirt sales in a week. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. AFC said the market is crazy, but if you want that player, just pay the money. Like we did for Rice. That's the reason we got Rice. Because if Man City paid the price, he wouldn't be an Arsenal player. That is a fact. You know what I mean? That is a fact. Me personally, AFC, I was not looking forward to see Morgan Rogers at Arsenal. So I kind of get my dream, my wish. You know what I mean? Because I think we wanted a different player on the left wing. You know what I mean? I wanted a different player for that left. I want an out-and-out left winger. I wanted somebody devastating that's going to do the damn thing out there. A Barcola kind of profile. You know what I mean? A Vinny kind of profile. That's what I wanted out there for the left winger. I wanted that kind of profile out there for the left winger. You understand what I'm saying? So I never really wanted Morgan Rogers. As I keep on saying to people, the only thing that upset me about this Morgan Rogers situation is the fact that Morgan Rogers went to Chelsea. Right? And Chelsea keep on stealing our targets time and time and time again. That's what upsets me. Nothing else. You know what I mean? I could care zero about anything else, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Him going to Chelsea, if Arsenal was not in for him and he went to Chelsea, it would not bother me, none at all. But the fact that he's been Arsenal's number one target, you know what I mean? Chelsea have no vision, not their own, you know what I mean? And they just sit there, wait for Arsenal to do what they're doing, you know what I mean? Only to swoop in and get the player. You get me? Only to sweep in and get the player by overpaying. Because a lot of people have to understand that this was an overpaying situation of the player. You know what I mean? That's the only way Chelsea get Morgan Rogers. If it was a situation where they weren't willing to pay more than Arsenal was offering Aston Villa, Morgan Rogers would have been an Arsenal player. Because no way Morgan Rogers is going to be choosing Chelsea over Arsenal if it wasn't for money situation. You know what I mean? Aston Villa let Morgan Rogers know, say, it's either you go Chelsea or you staying here. Because the money is good. You know what I'm saying? And what he did, he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave Aston Villa, so he went to Chelsea. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I still don't understand that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Aston Villa, I would have said another season at Aston Villa. I would rather say another season at Aston Villa. Because at the end of the day, Aston Villa is in Champions League. They're playing Champions League football. So imagine you help Aston Villa to go Champions League by playing your heart out, fantastic football, only to be sold to a team that's not in Europe, period. So you're gone back to playing one time a week? Help me make sense from that. You've gone back to playing one time a week, and players who didn't do nothing for the team coming in to play Champions League in your place. And you're playing for Chelsea, that is not in Europe, playing one time a week football. Remind me of Manchester United last season. AFC said Barcola is just slightly an upgrade on Martinelli. PSG want 150 million euro. Barcola is slightly upgrade on Martinelli. I'm not really into the situation of selling Martinelli like everybody else is. And I mean, for some reason, I do not want Martinelli. For some reason, I want them to fix whatever is making Martinelli look like an ordinary player. Because I don't think he's an ordinary player. I want them to fix whatever is making, whether it be position-wise, what system-wise, tactics-wise, whatever the situation is, that not giving Martinelli that drive to be the Martinelli that we know. I need them to fix that. You know what I'm saying? I need them to fix that. You know what I mean? 1. 2, I will move Martinelli as our third striking option. I would. You know what I mean? I would move Martinelli as our third striking option. That's one of the situations that we need to fix. Martinelli is a natural striker. And that's what we need to do with Martinelli. We need to put him in a position that suits him well. And just to see if we can get the best out of him. For some reason, nobody at Arsenal paying us no mind. You know what I mean? As far as Martinelli is concerned and moving him in a striking role. Yeah, I remember when Martinelli came on against Manchester City, he was a striker. You see that run? You see that finish? That's what I'm talking about. When he played for Brazil, he was in the middle of the park. He loved playing down the middle. You see that run? You see that control? You see that pass? These are what I'm talking about. They're there. Martinelli have those in his locker. You know what I mean? He have that Thierry Henry kind of finish there. You understand? Yeah, he have that Thierry Henry kind of finish there. So yeah, Barcola is just a slightly an upgrade. A upgrade is a upgrade though, you know. A upgrade is a upgrade. You get me? It's slightly an upgrade. I'm not even sure. I think he's faster. I think he's probably a little bit skiller, but a little bit skiller than Martinelli. But Martinelli is a better finisher, right? And Martinelli move in space better than a Barcola. You know what I mean? So it probably not even. I probably would just take both of them. It's not him or Barcola for me. You know what I mean? It's not him or Barcola for me. As I said, I would love to have Barcola at Arsenal, but I don't want it to be at the expense of Gabriel Martinelli, to be honest with you. You know? But we do need a profile over there. So when Martinelli run out of ideas, we have somebody that we can put on to change the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to change the game. I understand what he was looking for in Rodgers. I don't even think Rodgers wanted to play on the left wing. I'm wondering if that's one of the reasons why he even went and got himself tangled up in a web with Chelsea. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But there are profiles out there that we can find, you know what I mean, that we can use. I mean, like, it's everybody's dream to have a Vinny Jr. You know what I mean? But a Vinny Jr. probably going to shatter our weight structure. You get what I'm saying? A Vinny Jr. probably going to mash up our weight structure totally. You get me? Ridiculous money that Vinny probably getting at at Real Madrid. It is, you know what I mean? And what is it going to say for the boys that are there now and contract negotiation that needs to be done? You know what I mean? My thing is that they need to have some negotiation with Odegaard. Odegaard should already be looking at Saka and all of them and want to get some at least close to where those people money is as the captain of the club. You know what I mean? He's the captain of the football team. So he's going to want to get close to that scenario. So can you imagine bringing a Vinny and them ridiculous wages? You know what I mean? And all of that. How much teams in England can manage a Vinny Jr. Wage structure? You get me? It's probably not a lot, right? Probably not a lot. We will say, well, Manchester City probably will be able to manage that. You know what I mean? And all of that. Gooner in the building, big up yourself. Say, I forgot you're a Trinidadian. No, I'm not a Trinidadian, bro. I'm not a Trinidadian. Why does it sound Jamaican? Because I am a Jamaican. That's why. Yeah, because I am a Jamaican. Yeah, so the dream target, you know what I mean, for me it would be a Vinny, but I don't see that happening. You know, I don't see that happening. I don't know which one of the Vinny we'll get, the old one or the new one. Yeah, I mean, the old one or the new one. Which one of the Vinny go and turn up? You know what I mean? But yeah, what a story about Vinny, man. What a situation. Vinny went and did a whole face transformation. You know what I mean? Went and did a whole change. A whole change. Self-esteem is a hell of a thing. I promise you guys, self-esteem is a hell of a thing. But anyway, back to the football. So the Christopher Tzolis signing is now confirmed. Christopher Tzolis is now a Arsenal player. Arsenal number 17. You know what I mean? When I think about this number 17, there's one standout player for me. You get me? Standout player for me for the number 17. Alexis Sanchez. Standout number 17 player for me. You know what I mean? If Tzolis can recreate anything that Sanchez did in that jersey, fantastic. You know what I mean? Fantastic. Must have gotten you mixed up with someone else. Yeah, must have, right? Must have. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic if you can recreate anything that Alex Sanchez did while he was at Arsenal. You know what I mean? So, when I look at Christopher Tzolis, what do I see? I see a miniature Sard to be I see a miniature Sard in Tzolis, you know. You know what I mean? I see a miniature Sard in Tzolis. It's like them just sell Trossard and bring him back in a younger version. You get what I'm saying? It's like them sell Trossard and bring him back in a younger version. Because Christopher Tzolis is technically gifted. He can use both feet, right? He does score off both feet. He mostly is predominantly right-footed. You know what I mean? With experience, I think he'll be a better finisher than Trossard because he's a brother that like to find the far right top corner. That's where he scores most of his goals. The far right top corner, you know what I mean, after goal. He has scored some at the near post at times, but it's mostly like tap-ins and stuff like that. He's a player that enjoys scoring goals. He's a player that enjoys assisting goals as well. In one of in the interview, he was asked about. I think he's a Belgian player of the year. You know what I mean? But I think when they asked him about that situation, it was awesome. His response to it was awesome. He was like, "Yo, yeah, I was, you know what I mean? But I'm not really so much interested in individual awards. You know what I mean? Football is a team sport, and my team did not achieve. So you know what I mean? So that's that's the kind of talk that we like to hear. That's the kind, you know what I mean? So he enjoys assisting just as much as he enjoys scoring. You know what I mean? Almost like a Ozil. You know, Ozil used to enjoy assisting more than he enjoys scoring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Assist king. Yeah, you want assist? Call Ozil. He can assist you. You understand? So yeah. So Tzolis is a unique profile, and I think it's a profile that I think Tzolis will get good. You know, I think Tzolis will get better at Arsenal. I think his ceiling is further than a Trossard. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think he has a further ceiling than a Trossard. So with all of that situation there, you know what I mean, we should have a fantastic player on our hand. The situation is how soon will he blend in and become a part of what we're doing going forward, helping us out in attack and scoring goal. How soon can Christopher Tzolis be one of the players that we can go to when we're in trouble? How soon can we find that player? How soon can we get that player? You know what I mean? How soon can we activate that Christopher Tzolis? How soon can we do that? Or how soon will he blend in and fit in and make himself ready, you know what I mean, to help us challenge for these things that we are trying to challenge for. It's a long season. You know what I mean? Last season we went almost all the way in everything that we did, right? So we need the bodies and we need talented players, not just bodies this season. We had the bodies last season, but this season we're looking for players that makes difference. We're looking for different makers. Christopher Tzolis seems to be one of those different makers to me. You know what I mean? As I said, it's a dream come true for him. He was on holiday when he got the call that, hey, Arsenal might be interested. You know what I mean? And I heard that he cut his holiday short to make sure that he make himself available to see this move happen. You get me? So as I said, Arsenal are into making moves for players that wants to come to the club. You know what I mean? And Christopher Tzolis was one of them that wants to come to the club. He wasn't afraid, you know what I mean, to say, yo, that's a Premier League champion, you know. I wonder if I can do it. You know what I mean? He was ready. He was ready for the move. So those are the kind of players that we want to have. Players that are ready. You know what I mean? Ready to put on that shirt. Ready to fight for that badge. You know what I mean? Ready to wear that badge with pride. So Christopher Tzolis is welcome to the Arsenal, man. Welcome to the Arsenal. We're really looking forward to seeing you. In spite of what the fan base wants. And nobody follow the fan base right now. You know what I mean? The fan base not mad at you. The fan base really mad at the club. You get me? Because if they assign a proper, a first team winger before they sign you, I wouldn't want to say to the proper because you are a proper winger. You know what I mean? Because he mostly plays on the left, out wide. He cuts in, he cuts on his right, and he bend one. You know what I mean? He's a proper finisher. He's a proper finisher. And I was seeing the stats of his numbers compare to Rodgers, because you know the internet go, right? Everybody go into some comparison. The internet gonna compare what Rodgers did last season to what he did last season. And I mean, like, it's a numbers game at the end of the day, you know, people. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. The only thing is, can he repeat those numbers in the Premier League? Probably not those numbers. You know what I mean? Probably not those numbers, but he will repeat numbers in the Premier League. I have no doubt whatsoever that this player gonna become a fantastic player. As I said, Christopher Tzolis, you have a huge shoes to fill, you know what I mean? And I know you're gonna fill it, you know. It's just how fast will you do it? Will you introduce yourself to the world, to Arsenal football this season, and just know going forward, people just know what you're gonna bring to the table? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Will you do that for us? You know what I mean? It's all about how fast you hit that ground running. You know what I mean? It's all about how fast you hit that ground running. So yeah, let's see how fast you can do that. You know what I mean? And make it happen. You know, the faster the better, because we need you to adapt quickly. The season is long, and we have a lot of trophies to play for. We want to go all the way this time into the Champions League competition. Everybody knows Champions League, we never win it yet. You know what I mean? Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. You know what I mean? You'll never sing that. So that's the theme song for the Arsenal haters. You know what I mean? Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. We need to get rid of that song. You know what I mean? We don't want to win the Europa League because that's where that title, that's where that song is from. You know what I mean? But we do want to win the Champions League, so we can put that monkey to rest. We haven't done that. Never have. You know what I mean? And hopefully, likes of Christopher Tzolis can play a part in bringing this damn trophy home. You get me? Yeah, man, we want to see this trophy come home, and we want to put it behind me. And we want to start make this a regular. You get me? So, yeah. Alright, so one of the next transfer that we have looming over us is the Bruno Guimaraes transfer situation. It's been known for weeks already that Bruno wants Arsenal. It's been known for weeks already. Bruno wants Arsenal. It's been known that Arsenal have already signed, not signed. They can't sign a player that it's not theirs. That already agree personal terms with Bruno, right? Nothing is a problem on Bruno's side. Bruno has made it known, loud, clear, that he wants to come to the Premier League champions, right? So, what is the problem? Evaluation. There's a massive gap in evaluation. And because there's a massive gap in the evaluation of Bruno Guimaraes, Newcastle said they don't want to sell. That is not true. They probably don't want to sell, but they're probably going to have to sell. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is Bruno wants to leave and come to the Premier League champions. Bruno is a player with ambition. You know what I mean? Bruno is going to be 29 sometime this year, right? So he's not a young lad anymore. You know what I mean? And the Premier League champions come knocking. So you have to understand that the Premier League champions come knocking. You see titles now. You're not playing for fans, just for fans to like you no more. Or you're not playing just to become a hero of a club without trophy. You're going to play, yes, for fans to like you now. Yes, to become a hero of a club. And yes, to win trophies. You know what I'm saying? You need to retire your career as a decorated figure. You know what I'm saying? So Bruno has chose, you know what I mean, Arsenal as his next destination, as the next destination where he wants to go. Probably finish his career because at the age of 29, you know what I mean, 4-year contract, we're looking at 33, you know what I mean, and then you probably go to Saudi or the MLS and finish it there. You know what I mean? After you finish with Euro and leave with some trophies, hopefully a couple Champions League trophy as well, a couple Premier League trophy, you know what I mean, a few FA Cup, a few, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we're looking at all of that and we're saying to ourselves, and Bruno is saying to himself, yeah, Arsenal is the next destination for me to try and achieve some of them something here, right? But we're holding hostage for a ridiculous price again. So here we are battling another price situation, this time with Newcastle. Newcastle is not a club that does business fair or, you know what I mean, just. You get me? They're not scared to hold players hostage. They're not scared. You see how long that saga went on for Alexander Isak last season? You know what I mean? And they were getting the British record for him. They just never wanted to sell him. And he wanted to go. Now if you have a player that fights so hard to go, you know what I mean? No training, no this, no that. Let him go. You know what I mean? Let him go. Okay, if you're mad at the club and you don't want to sell that club, well, sell it to somebody else, but let the player go. You know what I mean? Let the player go. There's so much players that we can talk about today, and I think we're going to talk about the next one after we finish the Bruno situation, right? So, Bruno is seen as a perfect partner for Declan Rice, right? And other people might say, why are we buying Bruno? We have so much midfield already. No. So we have Declan Rice. We have Miles Lewis-Kelly, who is now a part of that midfield, and we have Martin Zubimendi. Miles Lewis-Kelly and Martin Zubimendi pretty much going to be that backup partnership, right? Where Miles is going to be the 8 and Zubimendi going to be the 6, and the Bruno and Rice is a partnership that we're really looking forward to. You know what I mean? Where Declan Rice is the 6 and Bruno is the 8. You know what I mean? Because Bruno have a vision. He has a past vision. You know what I mean? And Bruno can also be the 6 for the beginning of the season while we wait on Rice to recover from this thing that has been going on with for a little bit. You know what I mean? And all of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that injury that he's been carrying through Arsenal and throughout the World Cup. And all of that. While we wait on him to get over that, you know what I mean, Bruno can debut in his stay, you know what I mean, with probably a Zubimendi or a Miles Lewis-Kelly. You get me? So Bruno fits the profile of what we're looking for perfectly. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can say, okay, so there's different defensive midfielder out there, and cheaper, younger, Why not that? Because what we're looking for is not just any defensive midfielder. What we're looking for is a defensive midfielder that can hold that ball, carry that ball, and make a pass. A decisive pass. A defense splitting pass. You know what I mean? Them kind of situation. That's what we're looking for in the midfielder. And Bruno Guimaraes was one of Brazil's top assists in the World Cup. You know? Yeah, he was one of Brazil's top assists in the World Cup. He was the one that assists Gabriel Martinelli with that beautiful goal that him scored. Him do the assist. Yeah, just remember good. So we do know what we're looking for, and we're not looking for just any and every player. That is the truth of the situation. You get me? We're not just looking for any and every player, but we're looking for a specific profile. And at this present moment, Bruno fits a profile well. My thing is this. I understand that Bruno is 29-year-old. Soon, in a couple months or so, we understand that his age is a factor in whatever money you paid for him. But sometimes we have to give and take as a football club. Sometimes we have to give and take. Sometimes we have to pay the hard 5 and 10 million here and there just to make sure that we get the players that we want, just to make sure that we get the profile that we want to fit in the system that we're going to play. You know what I'm saying? So, Arsenal evaluation of Bruno right now is $70 million. You know what I mean? Plus probably 5 or something like that. That's about $10 million off what Newcastle looking for. You know what I mean? Why not just offer Newcastle what they want with some add-ons? Make add-ons or stuff like that, bring it up to the money. You know what I mean? That they need. The sources say that Mikel Arteta is pushing hard for this Bruno signing. Everybody knows that Mikel Arteta is a defensive man. When Mikel Arteta wants a defense, get it. Get the defense that Mikel Arteta wants. We understand they're not really good with the strikers and the forwards and stuff like that. Probably that's the reason why the club pulled the plug on Rodgers. Because they don't see how Rodgers was a proper fit. You know what I mean? For the Arsenal team on the wing. If he was in the middle of the park, then yeah. But on the wing, we don't see how Rodgers was a proper fit that we were looking for. You know what I'm saying? So, Mikel Arteta wants Bruno. You know what I mean? And if you look at the defensive signing that Mikel Arteta has done, you can trust him with making defensive signing. That's a fact. You know what I mean? Big up Chelsea in the building. Big up a damn self. Wagwan. You know what I mean? We can trust him with making defensive signing. So that's where I think they're going to trust him and probably give him what he needs. You know what I mean? I hear that even Josh Kroenke take over the negotiation. I don't know how true that is. You know what I mean? All sorts of something to talk. You know what I mean? All sorts of something to talk. But people are going to talk what they want to talk. You know what I mean? All I want at the end of the day is for this to happen. You know what I mean? That's all I want. This just to happen and that's it. You get me? So the reports are stating that Arsenal have agreed all details of personal terms with Bruno Guimaraes and new official bid will follow. You know what I mean? As far as we're concerned, Arsenal have been agreeing all personal terms with Bruno for a while now. You know what I mean? But Newcastle is still sitting there waiting on a formal bid from the Premier League champion. Them still not approach Newcastle and say, oh, look at this is what we get. Them do it through intermediate, you know what I mean? But they're still not officially gone to the club and said, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? What you think? Give a Bruno for $10 million. What you think? We're going to get none of that. You know what I mean? Chelsea 70 mil plus is a bit much for a 28-year-old. Hey, I understand the argument. But how would you feel if a team like Chelsea or Manchester United came and signed that same player for that same 70 mil plus? How would you feel? You know what I mean? We are the same one that are going to sit right here and say, yo, we should have let them get him. We should have signed him. And y'all know these teams ain't scared to splash the cash. You know what I mean? We understand that there is no resale value. We get it. But it's a player that fits what we want to do. It's a player that can bring us another 4 years worth of trophy at Arsenal. Isn't that the real sale? Isn't that resale value enough for us? Trophies is what we're after. Trophies is why we're buying these players. You know what I'm saying? So we already have a core of young players. It's okay if we blend them now and then, in and out, with experience. With the experience that Bruno bringing to this team. You know what I mean? It's priceless. It's priceless. We have to understand and we have to give and take. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, man. People, put some like on the stream now. And guys, remember to like the stream, alright? Yeah, man, remember to like the stream. Do that damn something. Do that damn something. Put a like on the stream. So, the price tag for Bruno, to me, you know what I mean, can be overlooked at a $70 million for a 29. I don't know if that's going to be one of the most expensive buying for that age. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the situation, but I think it's a worth buy. I think it's worth it. You get me? I think it's worth it. Rice was being run into the ground last season. Literally run into the ground last season. If we have a Bruno Guimaraes that Arteta wants, Arteta wants this player now. I mean, Arteta gonna trust him. And if Arteta trusts you, he's gonna play you. You know what I'm saying? So if Arteta trusts Bruno, which he does, because he's pushing tooth and nail to get this Bruno deal done, he's gonna play him. This Bruno can play and give Declan Rice well-needed rest break throughout the season. Declan Rice pretty much running at the ground. He's pretty much run into the ground playing for Arsenal and finishing up for England. So it's not ideal for us not to have a proper replacement for a Declan Rice. Miles Lewis-Kelly is not a proper replacement for Declan Rice. He's a ball handler. Zubimendi is okay, but he's not an ideal replacement for Declan Rice. You know what I mean? And I do think that Bruno Guimaraes is the ideal replacement for this Declan Rice. And Arsenal need to go there and get him. I'm not one to talk about overspending and them kind of stuff, but this player, I think we need to spend the cash for him. No matter the age. Don't matter about, oh, he's going to be 29. He's 28 now, going to be 29. That's irrelevant to this whole scene. You want to win. Look at Harry Kane right now at his age. Look at Harry Kane right now as his age. Harry Kane right now at his age. Any club want him have to pay over $1 million or over 100 mil for him. Any club want this Harry Kane right now has to play over 100 mil for him. I'm talking facts. You know what I mean? I'm talking facts. Vieira is back on loan, yeah, and he need to go straight back out. To be honest with you. You need to go straight back out, man. Straight back out. These are what we're talking about. Getting rid of these dead weights so we can make this team elite. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody to tell me that Vieira need to get a chance. Get a chance at what? No, you need to go get a chance somewhere else. You know what I mean? We need to get rid of the dead weights that we have sitting down in the club. You get me? There's so much players that need to go. You know what I'm saying? Gabriel Jesus, he has done his time. He did well. You know what I mean? He brought us back in. He was the first wave that brought us back into this zone that we're at now. You know what I mean? But he's no longer good enough to keep up. He's no longer good enough to keep up. We appreciate him. We respect what he did. You know what I mean? But it's time for him to move on. Gracefully. It's time for him to gracefully move on. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. You know what I mean? You were a valid part of Arsenal Football Club. You know what I mean? You've helped us to be back competitive, to gain back our respect. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much. You know what I mean? But we have to move on. That's what it's about. That's what it is about. He's going to be a very valid player somewhere else. You know what I mean? Even though he has dropped form, he has dropped a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But at some other club, it's going to be the shit. The player. You get me? So yeah, that's the situation there. You know what I mean? If we're going to give a player a chance, we have to give a player like Ethan Waneri. These are the kind of players that we keep around to give chances or send out on loan to get valuable experience this time. Not like that crap that happened that where he went and wasn't even playing. You know what I mean? We were looking for our player to come back with some good experience You know what I mean? He came back with a beard that like he was stressed out and frustrated, not even shave. You know what I mean? Like they stressed out the poor kid, man. You understand? First time away from home, first time away from his parents, first time away from his friends, first time just away. You know what I'm saying? And the experience was bad. I don't even know. Would he want to go back out alone? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah, so do you think we still need to spend big money on a left wing? Like, but I do. I do think we need a special left winger. You know what I mean? I do think we need a special. I still think we're going to get one. I still think we're going to get one. I do think we're going to get one. This is okay. So good thing you bring that up now. So now we go into the meat of the matter. The reason why I think the blow for the left wing is not so bad and it's cushioned because Arsenal still have a prime target that they want as a left forward, which is that same left wing position. You know what I mean? They still have a prime target that they're trying to get. Julian Alvarez. Don't forget that name, you know. That name keep on lingering around. You know what I mean? And a lot of people might be saying, yeah, he's Barcelona bound, he wants to go to Barcelona. That is the reality of what he wants. Right? To be honest, that is the reality of what he wants. But what is the reality of what is actually going to happen? You know what I mean? The reality of what he wants, and if that's actually what's going to happen, that's two different realities. That's two different worlds. You know what I mean? Atletico Madrid is adamant that they are not selling to Barcelona. They say they are not selling to Barcelona. So it's just like the Rodgers situation. Hey, we are not getting the money that we want from Arsenal, so we're not selling it to Arsenal. You got to go to Chelsea or you're staying here. I think that's going to be the same situation with Alvarez. I just think that's going to be the same situation. We're not selling you to Barcelona, and that's period. So it's either you go to Arsenal or somewhere else. You get me? So I think we're still going to have a fantastic signing over on that left wing. You know what I mean? That left forward, as they're going to call it now. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like this situation that is going around, that this swap deal situation. I don't like it. I'm just getting to like Victor Gyökeres. I know you're telling me that we want to swap him. You know what I mean? I do not like this swap deal situation that we are hearing and we're talking about. No, I do not like this swap deal situation. Victor Gyökeres was not the best in his beginning of the season, but he has finished strong and he has grown. The Victor Gyökeres that I see play in the World Cup, I can't wait for him to come back to Arsenal. You know what I mean? He has grown a level even in the World Cup. You get me? Yeah. So I can't wait. You know what I mean? As much as I like this player, I would more entertain a swap deal with a Kai Havertz. You know what I mean? With King Kai. And I like King Kai. But we have King Kai profiles in the team. You know what I mean? And I think Alvarez is more a King Kai profile than a Victor Gyökeres profile. You know what I mean? Victor Gyökeres is an out-and-out striker. King Kai is a roaming midfield kind of striker and a position left in his fit. King Kai is a person who is still behind the striker. You get me? And I know Arteta not going to sell Kai Havertz. I do know. Trust me. Arteta not going to sell Kai Havertz. You know what I mean? Kai Havertz is like a teacher's pet. So he ain't going nowhere. But I'm just saying, the profile striker of a Victor Gyökeres is something that we need. Right? And if you don't believe that, look at the reports. How much club call trying to figure out the situation with Victor Gyökeres at Arsenal? Plenty clubs. Top clubs. Plenty top club call trying to figure out the situation with Victor Gyökeres at Arsenal. He was told that they were told that he's not for sale, right? So I don't know if they were told that he's not for sale because they're trying to see if they can include him in the deal to sign a Julian Alvarez. And if so, Arsenal has become devastating, man. If so, Arsenal has become a serious club. You know what I mean? If you're going to push out a Victor Gyökeres that fight, literally fist fight him with, hey, be at Arsenal for a player that don't want to be here because he's just better. I serious. That's some Chelsea kind of move that. That's some Chelsea kind of move that. You understand me I say? But that is situation, that is situation. You know what I mean? Yeah, let me see if that's gonna be the situation of this Julian Alvarez. Let me see where Julian Alvarez gonna end up. You get me? Let us see where Julian Alvarez gonna end up, because I'm looking at the situation with Julian Alvarez, and there must be a reason why Arsenal is still sticking around. Have to be a reason why Arsenal is still sticking around. You get me? Just look at the situation. There are plenty of reports out there that Arsenal has already agreed a fee with Atletico Madrid. You know? Yeah, plenty of reports out there that Arsenal already agreed a fee with Atletico Madrid. But they have not reached a fee with Julian Alvarez, because Julian Alvarez is still waiting on Barcelona. That's what the reports are said. You know what I mean? So Arsenal and Atletico good, but Julian still did away from Barcelona. Barcelona is expected to go back one more time. You know what I mean? And Barcelona, it is reported that has already started looking at alternative to this Julian Alvarez, because they are looking at the reality that they might not get him. So the reality is we might not get you. So they're starting to look at replacements for that target. You know what I mean? And it is understandable. So if it's a situation where they have a deadline and they say, for instance, they say by the end of the month, if we don't get where we need to get what we need to get from you, or where we need to get with you, you know what I mean? We're moving on. We're moving on from the Julian Alvarez situation. So there's a timeline. They said that it's not forever. Their offer is still there, but it is not forever. You know what I mean? Well, Atletico Madrid said, well, our answer is forever. We are not selling you Julian Alvarez. So let's see who we're going to blame first. Let's see who going to decide, say, yo, you know what? Yeah, enough is enough. You know what I mean? Who going to give way and just trigger off with it and say, yo, you know what I mean? I'm walking away, or I'm selling the player. You get me? So hopefully Barcelona walk away and Arsenal get the player. That's all I really want to say. You know what I mean? That I really want to say. Hopefully Barcelona walk away and Arsenal get the player. You get me? And I think that would have been our left wing signing for this season. So when you look at that situation, I just paid that to you. Is that a better fit than Rodgers? Let's talk about it. Yeah? Isn't that better than having Rodgers? Imagine a forward line with Victor Yacarez, Saka, and Julian Alvarez, with a Odegaard, Bruno. That man. That mad people. And then on the bench you have Tzolis and Martinelli to come on. Over there so you have Madueke. And we still know so we're going to get a couple more players. We know we need to get a couple more players. You know what I mean? We know we need to get a couple more players. Big up Damien in the chat. Damien say, I think Damien want to say facts, right, Damien? Yeah, I think Damien want to say facts. But yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm not ready to give up on Arsenal and this transfer window yet, to be honest with you. I'm not ready to give up on Arsenal. I know that we are behind everybody in terms of buying, which we were last season too. Anybody remember? We were last season too. But when the transfer started coming last season, they were just coming. They were just coming. Last season, this time, we'll probably just sign one player too. Probably just sign one player. Last season, this time. You know what I mean? So, we're looking at the situation right now. We're saying, as fans, yo, Chelsea just stole our target. Manchester City, you know what I mean, buying record players. You know what I mean? Tottenham, they went crazy already from the beginning of the transfer window, but they needed to do that. They almost got relegated, so they have to show the fans and themselves that, hey, we're a football club that have ambition. You know what I mean? So the neighbors, they need to do that. They needed to do what they did in the market. You know what I mean? They went and they overplayed for two players, two significant players, not just one, two players. You know what I mean? Two defensive midfield. So at least they're understanding things that they need to do. They're structuring themselves. You know what I mean? Two defensive midfield. Tonali and what's the other one name? Soon to them. But yeah, those two defensive midfield. You get me? So let's see. Let's see what Arsenal have up their sleeve. As I said, I'm not willing to give up on them yet. I kind of see what's going on. We're not willing to overpay for no players, for no player. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying to myself, uh, 5 million, 10 million overpaid. Come on, man. You make that back in a week, in a couple of days sales, shirt sales. You know what I mean? Especially, I'm talking about the Bruno deal, especially because I think we need the Bruno deal. I actually think we do need the Bruno deal. You know what I mean? I think the Bruno deal, especially with Saliba, probably gonna be sidelined for a little bit now. You know what I mean? We need somebody. We need a rock where you have to get through first before you get to the back. Run this up. You know what I mean? We need a rock. We're gonna get through first, and I think Bruno is a rock. You know what I'm saying? And with Bruno and Rice, bro, I think you're gonna be sick, man. Man. Yeah. Chess said good players are running out. The other big teams are not scared to splash the cash. Do understand that? That is understandable. That is what's going on. You know what I mean? That is what's going on. But all these players that are running out, let's look at it this way. These players that are going to these other teams, are Arsenal linked with them? Arsenal not linked with them. You know what I mean? Arsenal never wanted to buy Tonali, to be honest with you, because Tonali was offered to them. You know what I mean? Fernandez, Arsenal wasn't interested in Fernandez. You know what I'm saying? The players that Arsenal are interested are still on the market, with the exception of Morgan Rodgers. You know what I mean? The players that Arsenal interested in are still on the market. You know what I mean? A Barcola is still on the market, a Alvarez is still on the market, a Krupi is still on the market. You know what I mean? Them kind of players that you've been hearing Arsenal linked with, they're still there on the market. You know what I mean? And Diamande is still on the market. They're still on the market. When these players that we have linked with get swooping up, then I think we have a problem. Then I think we can push that panic button. But right now, I don't think we need to push the panic button yet. You know what I mean? Because there's no way Arsenal can just win the league after 22 years and sit down and just because of a few pounds, a few million pounds, they're not going to get the players that they need to maintain or retain this league. You know what I mean? Arteta have a contract for renew, right? He has a contract for renew. If they don't show Arteta the ambition that Arteta shows them, do you think he's going to want to do it? Yeah, let's be real. Do you think he's going to want to do it? If you don't show Arteta the ambition that he's showing you, why would he renew his contract? You know what I'm saying? He's not going to want to do it. So that's part of the whole situation. So believe me, man. Believe me. Arsenal is going to be okay. They're going to do it, and they're going to make it happen. You get me? I'm always a positive Arsenal fan. If y'all know me, y'all know. You know what I mean? Very rare I crash out and go on. You see me? Very rare. Was that the best time for Arsenal to win back-to-back? Facts. We've never done it. We've never done it. And why is it the best time for Arsenal to win back-to-back? It's the best time for Arsenal to win back-to-back because all the big six managers are new to clubs that they're coaching. Right, Waza? All the big six managers are new to the clubs that they are coaching. Carrick is new, pretty much. Right? The Liverpool manager is new. Chelsea manager is new. Tottenham manager is new. Who else? You know what I mean? They're all new. You get me? Mikel Arteta is a veteran as a young coach in the Premier League. He's a veteran as a young coach in the Premier League. So this is not, the time is now. Now is the time that we should make sure that we put some distance between us and the so-called top six. Well, it'll be top five because we're part of the six. You know what I mean? Now is the time that we do it. There's not a better time than now to win back-to-back. As I said, now the best time to do that back-to-back then. Now is the best time for us to do it. You understand? Now is the time for us to go and look the players, get the players that we need, and go out there and do the damn thing. You know what I mean? We went to the semi-final of the Champions League. Now is the time to go back to that semi-final and win it. But we have to put in the work in buying the proper players. Yes, I know. And I think that's the reason why we're not jumping the gun and just buying players like random people. We are the Premier League champions. And because we're the Premier League champions, that means the team that we have was the best team last season. So, with us having the best team last season, all we need to do is add to it. And we can't add mediocre players to our team. We have to add quality. We have to add quality players to our team. And that's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. That's the reason why we're not jumping the gun just to go get any and every player that is available. You know how much players have been linked to Arsenal? Lots. Too much. Too much. You get me? Too much. I'm looking for that big bomber from David Austin. I'm looking for that super sexy, nice, here we go, from Fabrizio. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for. Surprise out of nowhere. Like a Vinny Jr. That's what I'm talking about, Damien. You know what I mean? Like a Vinny Jr. That bomber we're gonna make a cuss. You know something? That bomber that gonna make a cuss. That's what we're looking for. You know what I mean? We just want that one big bomber. That one super, here we go. And trust me, the place gonna turn upside down. You know what I mean? Like how Vinny Jr. changed him looks, you know, him no longer look like a Real Madrid player now. He more look like an Arsenal player now. You know what I'm saying? he more look like an Arsenal player now. So Vinny Jr. we can go see what go on with it. We can go have a conversation with Vinny. You know what I mean? We can have a conversation with Vinny. What's that said? Ozil was the last global superstar Arsenal signed. Time to break the transfer market for a showstopper attacker. 100%, my friend. You see me? Yeah, man. 100%. 100%. Agree with that 100%. It's time to break the bank. You know what I mean? Break the transfer market for a showstopper attacker. That sounds good though. A showstopper attacker. Yes, we need to do the damn thing. We need a showstopper attacker. You get me? I'm not too concerned about the situation that Alvarez does not want to come to Arsenal. Alvarez don't want to go nowhere else but Barcelona. So I'm not too concerned. Everybody have a dream. You know what I mean? Not every dream come true. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to go around in order to reach your destination. So this might just be one of the around Alvarez have to go. You know what I mean? You might have to take a long road through Arsenal to reach Barcelona. That's all me I say. You know what I mean? That's all me I say. Morgan Rogers never want to go Chelsea, but that's where he is. You know what I mean? And when Chelsea put on a piece of paper game, say, yo, read and say this. I am signed to the best club in London. And them show me the checkbook. So I say, we are pay you. I have to read and say it. I am signed to the best club in London. Not only that, look at Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson post. Elliot Anderson said, as long as I know, I'm probably not wrong, you know. I'm probably not wrong. Looking at it, Elliot Anderson probably not wrong. Elliot Anderson said, as long as I know, Manchester City has been the biggest club in Manchester. He's probably not wrong. You know why he's probably not wrong? Elliot Anderson is about what, 22? He's about 22. When Fergie left 13, 14 years ago, he was what, 9? You know what I'm saying? He was 9. So he wasn't even following football like that. Probably didn't even know, you know what I mean, what's going on in the football world like that. So when he understand the football now and start looking to it, as far as he know, you know what I mean, he said that those were some picture perfect words from Anderson. Unlike the irresponsible words them will come out of Morgan Rogers' mouth. That's irresponsible of Morgan Rogers to say crap like that. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But anyway, back to what Wassa said. We need to find a showstopper attacker. And we all can agree that Julian Alvarez can be that showstopper attacker. You get me? Yeah, man. Julian Alvarez can be that what we're looking for. And if Arsenal go and splash cash, Arsenal need to have cash in reserve to make sure so that happens when the time is right. Because that gonna cost at least 150 mil. It's probably euro, so it's probably 130 pounds or something like that. But that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? That's a lot of money. So them have to make sure so them have some cash put away. Hey, that Julian Alvarez. I tell you before, has to be a reason why Berta is still lingering around this Julian Alvarez situation. Remember, people, Berta is the one that bought Julian Alvarez from Manchester City. So he's the one that knows the in, the outs of this deal. He knows the in and the out of this Julian Alvarez deal. So him sticking around is very important to me. It means something to me. You know what I mean? I think him have something up his sleeve. There's something in that deal that Berta know that can trigger that deal for Arsenal to get him. The one thing that is keeping them at bay is the fact that Barcelona is still lingering around. Whenever Barcelona remove themselves, which is just a time game that they're playing right now, they're playing a time game right now. Whenever Barcelona remove themselves, you're going to see. It's going to be a different situation. When Barcelona remove themselves, I'm expecting Arsenal to step up significantly. Step up. Whenever Barcelona remove themselves. I'm expecting to step up from Arsenal. You know what I mean? People, put some like on the channel, man. Put some like on the channel. Give me some like, man. Give me some like. If you love what I go on, if you love what I reason, put some like on the channel, man. If you're new over here, do that subscription thing then. Yeah, man. If you're new to the channel, do that subscription thing then. Beautiful community over here. You know what I mean? Beautiful community over here. Check us back later on again, because we're coming live again later on. You know what I mean? The community should be out in full swing. You know what I mean? And we should be getting some proper conversations on the way. You know what I mean? But put a like on the channel. You know what I mean? Let me know that you like what's going on. And if you're new over here, not just sit down and watch, man. And you know what I mean? Subscribe to the thing, man. Become a part of the family. Become a part of the family. So let me know what y'all think about the situation with this Julian Alvarez and Arsenal waiting game. You know? This Julian Alvarez and Arsenal waiting game. And stuff like that. And as I said, the Tzolis signing, I think Tzolis gonna surprise all of us this season, because he must hear what I go on, you know, and he must hear the fact where Arsenal fans probably looking at the signing and say, yo, they wanted a marquee signing and stuff like that. So Tzolis must have hear what I go on and say to himself, all right, you know what? I'm gonna surprise y'all, you know. I'm gonna surprise y'all. You know what I mean? He's been working hard as far as I'm concerned. Ever since he heard about the interest of Arsenal, he's been working hard. You get me? Yeah, man, he's been working hard to make sure that he's in top shape. Because he never come among elite players. He know he's coming among elite players. So he's been working his hardest to make sure that when he comes here, he's in the form of his life. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So let's see what we're going on with him doing all of that. We're looking forward, you know what I mean, to having this situation sorted out soon. We have Arsenal playing pre-season. So we have our pre-season coming up soon. You know, we have our pre-season coming up soon. And we're going to be doing some watch-alongs right here. Yeah, we're going to be doing some watch-alongs right here. You understand? Yeah, so let's see. Let's do the damn thing, because guess what? Football is back. Football is back. Football is back. We're going to enjoy it and we're going to love it. You know what I mean? It's going to be fantastic. Trust me, it's going to be fantastic. When football is back, we're happy. We're happy. So we're going to get this preseason out of the way and get ourselves ready and waiting for the Premier League season, which we're gonna be doing the watch along right here. So it's amazing. We get the chance to do the first game. You know what I mean? All the way. We get the chance to do the first game right here. Watch along with you guys. I get the chance to do it right here with you guys, and you know what I mean? Enjoying it, loving it. You know what I mean? So yeah. As I said, we will be back again later on, people. We will be back again later on. If you're new to the channel, you know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel and become a part of the family over here, man. You know what I mean? Just don't leave it a chance that you walk up on the channel again. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel, and we have good conversations over here. I mean, like, a lot of the persons are here today, but they're normally always here. We have good conversations over here, and it's a unique family because everybody from every different club is over here as well. You know what I mean? So it's a proper Premier League. It's a proper Premier League. We have a Premier League over here. You know what I mean? And the banterism is what we do in the night. You know what I mean? So we're waiting on the Premier League to start back so we can start our proper bantering in the night. You get me? Yeah, man. Proper bantering in the night. That was fun. That's been fun. You know what I mean? That's amazing. That's amazing. You know what I mean? They don't hold punches. They don't hold punches. They be respectful and they throw punches. You know what I mean? Imagine get a thump in your face and somebody tell you sorry. You know what I'm saying? Imagine get a nice punch in your face and then hear sorry after that. That's what happened in the night. You know what I mean? We don't hold punches. Persons are out there defending their teams, and that's what we're doing. It's a good look. Proper look. You get me? Yeah. So let's do it. Let's move on. Let's move forward. Because we're here. We're here to stay, people. You know what I mean? We're here to stay. And we're doing what we need to do to stay relevant. There's lots of stuff coming up. We have some Wolipa podcast planned for the new season. We have some Wolipa podcast planned for the new season. The memberships are there. We have some things coming for the members. You know what I mean? Yeah, we have some things coming for the members. Some special things coming for the members. Y'all know me. You know what I mean? Y'all know me when I decide to do some acting on these football. You get me, I say? Yeah. We're going to do some football acting. So y'all know me that when we decide to do the acting, you get me? We're going to put that, some of that going to go into the members. So we have to make sure that members get treated special. You know what I mean? Because that's what they pay to be special members. You know what I mean? So we're going to be doing, I was trying to drop one today, you know. I was trying to drop something in the membership today for them to, you know what I mean? But I might not have the time to do it today, so I might do it tomorrow. I might do it tonight. I might do it at some point tonight. You know what I mean? Yeah, I might do it at some point tonight. Yeah. So the memberships are there, people, if y'all want to become a member and all of that. And yeah, everything is there. Everything is there. We're moving forward and we're getting better at what we're doing. We're loving it. We're enjoying it. You know what I mean? Can't wait for the season to start. You know what I mean? Still a little bit shaky for the season just because of what's going on with our transfer business. You know what I mean? Still a little bit shaky because, I mean, like, yeah, y'all give us Christopher Tzolis to relax our brain and calm down our mind, but we need more. You know what I mean? We need more. We need a showstopper attacker. You know what I mean? Yeah, we need a showstopper attacker. You get me? That gonna make the team just feel like we're on a different level. Yeah, we need a different level attacker there. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to figure out. That's what we want to get. That different level attacker. So let's see. Let's see. Make sure that we have it. Just get it done, man. Just get it done. We have to overpay for a little bit sometimes. Sometimes you have to pay for what you want. You get me? Because I know if Julian Alvarez became available, Arsenal are going to overpay to get it. Because they've been wanting him for so long, so they're going to pay what they need to get it. You understand what I'm saying? So I just need Barcelona to step away gracefully, right? So we can push forward in doing what we want to do. You understand? So what you guys think? You guys been sitting here listening to me talking for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you guys been sitting here listening to me talking for an hour. Waza, Damian, Ches, and a few other person make some comments. You know what I mean? So you guys have nothing to add on what I just talk about. You guys have nothing that y'all want to talk about. Which transfer that's tickling y'all right at this moment. If none, you know what I mean? Guess what we're gonna do then? We're gonna call it a day. You know what I mean? It's been a pleasure having you guys here today. Thank you for sticking around, people. Thank you for sticking around. Remember to like the channel if you're new over here, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All right? This is Riley's World, people. This is Riley's World. We appreciate the love and the support as always. You know what I mean? We'll see you again later on.